Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees. Well, something I haven't been able to say in quite a while. The Yankees sweep a team, sweep the St. Louis Cardinals. They had 3 games, and really the last 2 quite exciting there. Not only had a big comeback on Saturday a little bit, but of course, again, 9th inning there, tied, a game 4-4 on the road there. Those are the games that Yankees typically lose, but they do come away, and then you have a little bit of an outburst and come away with, you would look at the box score and say it was an easy 8-4 win, but actually it was much closer than you thought. So, good weekend series by the Yankees. There's a lot of positives to see from the team, things to point out, things. I would say that a month ago, possibly the Yankees might have even lost all 3 of these games. So I'm not saying the Yankees completely bounced back some of the doldrums they've had over the majority of the summer there. But for different reasons, though, it's a very satisfying sweep of the Cardinals. Yeah, I know 4th place team and all that stuff there, but nevertheless, you will take the sweep on the road. So we'll kind of reflect on this series here, but before we get started, make sure to subscribe to this podcast. Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcasts, get updates. For example, I just did a preview of this series beforehand. I'm not going to do that all the times, but cool stuff you can only get by being an exclusive podcast subscriber, and there's also a YouTube version of the show. Now, it's exciting. You get to see me. It's all great, but, but in order you want to see me and get the updates sooner, you want to be a podcast subscriber most of all, but also make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Go to YouTube, search for Section 420 Talkin Yankees, and subscribe there. So, the Yankees kind of failed to sweep the Minnesota Twins, a team they should definitely have swept there. I know a lot of people got on them a little bit because the final game against Joe Ryan pretty much shut the team down. The Yankees kind of withered away in the last game, 4-1. They didn't really pull much of an offensive thing. And the game did have a delay, the rain delay. I'm not going to blame that or anything like that. It is what it is. But the Yankees, everyone felt that, well, if the Yankees don't sweep the Twins, then I don't believe them anymore. But if they do sweep the Twins, then I will believe them. And it was just one game more or less, and up against a good pitcher. But nevertheless, the Yankees then took the game on the road there where, this could have been a bit of a make or break. As I mentioned before, the Cardinals, not exactly a complete pushover, but, 4th place in the NL Central there. A couple of games over 500. So, not really a great team, but not really a terrible team. Kind of mediocre there. And you figure, with the Yankees on the road and this with some of the Yankees, the problems they've been having so far over for most of the summer, this could have easily been a little bit of a recipe of disaster where they could have got slapped around there. When then you're looking at, what? The only chance to get in is right now the wild card. But now, at least, with the Yankees, what they did get the sweep this weekend, they're kind of matching up there with Toronto. At least, not only inch their way back a little bit in the AL East there, but again, at least keeping themselves within a realistic arm's distance that if they go on some type of 2 or 3 week really good run there, they can make up a lot of ground and really start, maybe just nip at Toronto's heels and maybe only be about a game or 2 back. But I was getting into the series itself. Not only did they get the sweep, which we haven't seen in a while from these Yankees, but all 3 starting pitchers actually got a win, which another win. I can't remember the last time I even said that or even saw that. The Saturday game with Max Fried, getting smacked around and giving up 4 runs there. I think it was like the bottom of the second or bottom of the third there. Still able to hold and stay in the game just enough for the offense to put enough runs on the board to get him the win, and he was able to exit the game with the win there, and the Yankees were able to tack on a few runs, and the bullpen was able to close it out with them. But all it goes started with the first game. Luis Hill, who now looks like he's coming to form a little bit, had the first game in Miami where he got clunked around a little bit, but, it's his first game, no expect there. Rebounded pretty good against Houston. That was the only game the Yankees won that weekend, going into the 6th inning there, having 70 strikeouts, and then carried into this game, was staked to a 4-0 lead early on there. St. Louis would claw back, but what you like to see about this game is that the Yankee bullpen held on, and Bednar came on with the save. Now, about a month ago, probably Devin Williams would have been in there, and the Yankees would have blown the save and blown and lost the game, probably by a score of 5-4. But in this case, the Yankees hold on and just nip out the 4-3 win there, and Bednar with his 19th save this season, and clearly he's the 9th inning guy right now. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So again, the Yankees have the others on, but Bednar's really taken on to this closer role there. Closed the first one out, and the second game, I pretty much wrote that the Yankees were dead there. They did have an early lead, but Max Fried, again, has been struggling. Gives up a big 3-run home run. Now, Judge hits a home run of his own there to at least bring the Yankees within 5-3, but let's be honest. It's 5-3. Max Fried struggling there. You're on the road. You won the game before, okay, you figure, you're not winning this game. It's Saturday night in St. Louis, which, I think that makes a big difference. And it's not like there was a capacity crowd there. So it was tough to beat. And I'll get into the crowd as well, a little comments about the St. Louis faithful afterwards. But nevertheless, Yankees do get a good comeback, and mainly by the efforts of Ben Rice there with a huge game, probably a career game, definitely his game of the year there. Big 3-run home run to swing the score, then give the Yankees a 6-5 lead. Totally turns the momentum, and add a couple of RBIs afterwards to increase his RBI total for 7 for the entire game. So this was the Ben Rice game. And the Yankees come away with the win. Again, a kind of stunning comeback because, again, a couple of weeks ago, this is probably the game the Yankees don't win. Max Fried will fall behind, and then the offense will just take an O for the rest of the day there. But again, both the efforts of Judge, but again, mainly Ben Rice, will the Yankees to this end. Again, I was kind of surprised, comeback win for the Yankees, and Bednar coming out again there, and two consecutive games in a row there. And good thing that actually this was a night game in St. Louis. Had this been an afternoon 1 o'clock start, maybe Boone doesn't go to Bednar. Who knows that? But since it was a night game and sort of Bednar had his full kind of 24 hours, you would say, more or less, able to bring him out for a second consecutive game, and he's able to notch down the save there for his 20th save of the season for the Yankees, which then brings us to the finale, started by Will Warren, who, again, was really great last time against Minnesota. And, again, he's another guy that kind of been a little bit stumbling a little lately there, before that start in Minnesota there, had a strong start. Followed up. Now, again, wasn't magnificent, but, again, good enough to get the win in this game, but really just came down to the ninth inning. The Yankees had a lead, but this game was tied 4-4. And this is why, speed kills, as I say, and always put the ball in play. And that's why it's good to have guys like this, like Cabrera, who the Yankees got at the trade deadline, who was kind of, again, was an afterthought type of guy. They kind of got him while Tampa was in town there. It's like, all right, good utility play. He has speed. He can steal bases. Wowee. Now, obviously, did not make a good debut against Miami there. Big error in right field. But you see why you need guys like that, because these are the type of guys actually that just kill the Yankees. They just bobble the ball, dribble the ball, they somehow get on base, and they end up coming around the score. How many of these guys just always kill the Yankees over the, just go back to the World Series. Dodgers seem to have a bunch of guys like this that just get on base somehow and just through hook or crook end up scoring. And the Yankees always seem to be victimized by this guy. Now the Yankees, got a guy like that in the back pocket, like Cabrera. Little misplay there at first base, able to take advantage of a wild throw as well as a wild pitch afterwards. Finds himself on third base with nobody out. Now Trent Grisham up. He kind of did his job a little bit, but I guess maybe hit the ball a little bit too hard. In the infield there, wasn't able to score Cabrera. And you're kind of thinking, again, if this was about a month ago, this Yankee team would have stranded that runner, even with nobody out there, and they would have lost in the bottom of the ninth inning with a walk-off. That's just the way this Yankee team has been most of the summer. But, again, this weekend, the Yankee team has been a little different. I'm not saying the team's totally changed yet. They got to kind of have to do this for a couple more weeks before I'm convinced. But, again, this is why there's 3 wins they had this weekend. They would have not had these wins a month ago with the players they had and just the way the whole team was. So, again, you just see some of the new faces, what they could do there. Again, because of Cabrera and the speed, able to get himself on third base. And then eventually, thanks to a walk for Stanton there, good eye at the plate there, worked the count 3-2. And Judge on, they issue him the automatic walk. They weren't going to pitch in and let him beat him. I guess they like the lefty matchup against Romero. The only thing, though, is that Bellinger's numbers against lefties are actually better than righties this season. And Bellinger with a well-placed single between the first and second baseman there. And it could have easily maybe, been at least one out. I don't know if they would be able to turn a double play at that, but actually ends up going past both infielders there. And once that ball's in the outfield, 2 runs score immediately. Yankees up 6-4 there. And you could have put the game away, but again, the Yankees tacked on a couple more runs, make it to 8-4 there, and obviously don't have to bring out the closer yet again. I don't know if he would have been available, and the Yankees has come away with an 8-4 win. But again, if you look at the box score, you say, well, 8-4 the win. But again, that game was tied 4-4 in the ninth, and it took this, Yankees with a little bit of luck and a little timely hitting to get those runners in and complete the sweep for the Yankees. And as mentioned before, all 3 starters from this weekend, Luis Heel, Fried, who I don't think Fried deserved it, but I guess the offense did come through for him, which, vice versa. Fried's had a lot of games where early on in the season, or even midway when he was kind of been struggling, offense not really kicking in for him, that they saved his bacon this time around. So able to increase his win season total to 13 there. And again, these are 3 wins that you feel good about, because just the way this Yankee team has been most of the summer, this probably would not have happened. They probably would have lost all 3 games, or maybe you've been lucky to win 1, just the way things have been right now. Again, especially with Bednar there and just kind of shoring up that ninth inning role where you're not holding your breath with Devin Williams. And as I mentioned before, the St. Louis faithful there, especially the Sunday game, the field was a ghost town, and we've been hearing this for years. St. Louis Cardinals got the best fans in baseball. They don't care if their team's in first place or last place. They come out and root and stuff. I understand there's a massive heat wave over in the Midwest there. Like Friday, I think the first pitch was like 94 degrees. I get it, it's hot. The team's really in no real postseason contention. They're in 4th place, so yeah, I get it. It's not exactly an exciting ticket, but look, it's the New York Yankees coming to town. It's Aaron Judge. You'd think it would bring out people. Again, we had to hear that, again, St. Louis has the best fans in baseball. The Sunday game, and that place was, for the later half, was a complete ghost town. Now, you're not even close to NFL football. You still got a couple of weeks left. So, I guess since, football Sunday, people wanted to stay home and watch football and stuff. I mean, you're not even close to football. You still have the summer here. Most kids are still off. They don't have school, so what gives, Plus, you got a nail biter before your team's coming back. Maybe at least, stave off the sweep. They just want to see that, but nevertheless, it almost reminded me of the COVID baseball when there was no one in the stands. And I guess a lot of the Yankees fans came out strong on the Friday, Saturday games, which you kind of expect there. But Sunday was on both sides was a complete ghost town. So the Yankees could dust themselves a little bit. So, got a sweep you can be proud of. If you want to look at the Twin Series and this series, two teams, I understand they're not the strongest teams in the world, but 5-6, that's a good little chunk, and now you can start building off that. We'll have them Monday off. Now they go to Tampa, but technically it's the Yankees complex, so it's almost their own field. So then I'm sure the place will be loaded with Yankee fans. So again, this is almost like an away home game for the Yankees. So let's see if they can take advantage in Tampa. They always seem to be nipping the Yankees' heels there a little bit. But if you're the Yankees, you got to start rolling now. Right now, Cash made the comment that he's not ruling out the AL East as well, but the team's got to show some urgency, and they got to show some urgency. And a couple of things you like to see. Aaron Judge looks like he's getting the home run stroke back a little bit. Since rejoining the team in Texas, he's in the bullhard a little bit. A lot of it was on the ground. You didn't see the lift yet, but in the second Minnesota game, hitting a home run kind of breaks that streak there. And then we saw a home run also in the Saturday game in St. Louis. So hopefully he's starting to get on the home run roll a little bit. And again, soon enough, he should be full time in the field, where then you get full time Stanton DH. And Stanton, I'm going to just look up there, hitting 299. I had to do a triple take on that one. So, again, really adept out to this new role he has right now, whether it's a part-time player coming off the bench and just make the most out of his bats. And, again, maybe it's the hurt elbows. Maybe, he's those elbows are still in touch comfort, so when he swings, maybe he just wants to make it count. So maybe he's not swinging at many bad balls that he would, just because he wants to save those bullets when there's a ball inside the zone, and that overall might be helping his batting average. Which, if that is, then in a way, maybe the elbow injury might be a good thing in a bad way there. So a lot of good stuff for the Yankees, so hopefully they can continue on this, get on a little bit of the roll. Again, to be able to inch themselves a little bit now, only 5.5 back in the AL East versus 6.5. Obviously, you'd like to be a little closer than that, but still a little inching back a little bit. And right now have that at least third wild card spot, semi-comfortably 3.5 games over Cleveland. But again, I still don't even want to look at the wild card yet. I still think they should be shooting for the AL East. Wild card is maybe second week of September, you go, okay, you know what? We don't have a shot there. I mean, the Yankees are about a month away from kind of having that sort of come to Jesus moment there, so I don't want to go too focused on the wild card. But if you're the person that looks at it, technically, if the playoffs started today, they would at least be in it. But obviously, you want the AL East. That's where they should be. So we'll catch you next time.